All right. Those big hunks of rust or dirt, red dirt coming out of that side, and dust coming out of this side. Oh, now it's whizzing oil out the front, out the top end. Huh. Well, I guess that's good news, right? That must mean that oil's being pumped up to the top end. Well, that's, you know, I gotta try and think positive. All right. You know, it's funny. I'm turning this rear drive here with the bearings that sound horrible. I just tried turning it, and it was really stiff, and I had to break it free to get it going. It was really earthy, crunchy. So the bearings are really bad in that back end. I wonder how long those bearings were toast before they, you know, stopped trying to run it. So again, I'm just verifying which direction this motor is supposed to turn to make the go-kart go forward. And again, I'm assuming that there's no way to shift this into reverse and that this isn't forward gear. So again, that means looking from the back side, that's going to be going counterclockwise, which means the crankshaft on that side is going to have to go counterclockwise, which means this is going to want to turn clockwise. So I believe I was already turning it in the correct direction. Let's try this again. Zero compression. That motor's got something really bad wrong with it. All right, so it's January 11th, 2020, and it's a very unusual day here in New England. We're having a mini heat wave. Yesterday we got up to like 50-something degrees during the day, and today the forecast is we're gonna hit a high somewhere in the 60s. I think the previous record is 63 degrees, and they were saying that we got a good possibility of breaking that record today. And I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm out here in a long sleeve shirt, and that's it. I'm not cool in the least, and there's a very strong wind. So I've got the wind reduction mode on the camera set, so hopefully that'll help with some of this audible noise you're hearing from the wind. But I can't make any guarantees. But it's just so nice out here today, we decided to use the outdoor workbench here and figure out. Aiden's with me. We're going to figure out what the heck's going on with this motor. We know that it's got zero compression, so something really bad has happened. What I have discovered since Aiden was last down here working on it with me is there's a spot where you rotate this motor, and even with the spark plug out and no compression, it gets hard to turn right there. You see it? Yeah. And to make matters worse, if I set this to what appears to be top dead center, where the two rocker arms should be loose, so that you would then put a feeler gauge in there and check your valve clearance, which is supposed to be 5/1000ths on this engine. Notice this one seems okay. I mean, we could put a feeler gauge in there and check it, but it's kind of in the ballpark probably. Mm-hmm. Look at this one.
Think somebody changed it?
No. Look at the size of the gap. I could stick my finger in here. It's close to a quarter of an inch. It's huge. Yeah. So this valve is not coming up. I hear what you're saying. You're saying somebody changed it. If we loosen this lock nut and run this down so that that's even close to touching that, that's going to be where? Way down in there, right? Yeah. Matter of fact, the locking nut probably wouldn't even be able to engage anymore. So here's your problem right here. The reason why we don't have compression on this engine is because this valve is not closing. And I got a bad feeling that the reason why this valve isn't closing is because it's either badly warped or even bent. So something really rotten happened here in Denmark. I mean, that's just nuts that's that loose. A little breezy.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah. So, what we're gonna have to do to get to the bottom of this is we're gonna have to pull the head. And once we pull the head, it'll be obvious. I can almost guarantee it's gonna be like really obvious what's wrong with this. So I'm looking at the way this is constructed. It's interesting to me the way that they appear to have put this gear, this sprocket on the cam. It almost looks like it's not, like it's pressed on, like it's a press fit, like it has to stay with the cam. You see, on the on like the ATVs I've worked on, there'd be 2 bolts here, 2 small bolts. And you take the 2 bolts out and you would be able to take this cam off of here. Notice there's no fasteners. There's nothing to indicate, you see?
Yeah. Maybe you have to pull
Note
it
this
up.
hole, see this hole right here? See the
Yeah.
line?
Yeah.
That's gotta be a timing mark.
Alright, where's the timing mark on the chain?
No, it wouldn't be on the chain.
Oh.
That's a timing mark in reference to, usually the cover
Yeah.
has a little access port you take out, and you would look in that hole so you could see where that line is. But I looked at the cover for this thing, and the cover's solid. There's no access port.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they did that. Now maybe that's just so you can tell when it's a top dead center based on where it is. Like maybe it's supposed to be perfectly vertical between these 2 bolts, which would be there. The funny thing is, I went online and I watched some other guy working on one of these, and he was saying top dead center is when this big hole is there.
And it feels like it too.
No, what you're feeling when you turn this and it's getting stuck is, unfortunately, it's probably that valve, and it may even be interfering with the piston. There's something really bad going on. We're gonna see something horrible when we get this
Sketchy
over.
stuff.
But look,
Yeah.
on this side, let me spin it around for the camera so people can see what we're looking at. So what I'm looking at on the flywheel is there's a hunk of metal that sticks up proud of the flywheel, and that hunk of metal is what causes a pulse at this device. When that flies by this, that is the trigger that fires the ignition coil. So it would make sense to me that this should be right about where it is when it fires. You see it?
Yeah.
It's a few degrees. It's a few degrees past top dead center. Or is it before? No, that's yeah, that's not good. See, there's something
Something's hitting it.
something really wrong. So I think what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to pull this head, and to pull this head, what we're going to need to do is take this
Gear.
camshaft off. Well, the gear, like I just said, I don't think the gear comes off. It doesn't look like it's made to. Take this off. This is the tensioner. Remember I told you how this
Yeah.
works? What's in this thing is there's a post with a roller on the end of it, and that roller pushes down on that chain. If we take this out completely, we might be able to get enough slack in this chain to actually take it off of the sprocket, and then we can take these rocker, I forgot what you call these things, but these
Arms.
things here, these are the rocker arms. These parts right here that actually take this assembly with the rocker arms off. Take that all off, then we can get the head off. Actually, we could even leave that on there. We don't need to touch any of this unless there's a bolt hidden in there that I don't see. I kind of doubt it. I think all we need to do is get the chain off, take these bolts out.
Whoa.
I was gonna say that's kind of probably you're gonna need to put that adapter on there. And use, here you go.
I have one over here.
Or whatever. All right. Well, we'll keep this socket for turning it on here. Yeah, it's 8mm. You can take it out with your fingers. It's pretty loose.
Bang it from the side.
sides.
I don't want to crack that. Let's try. This doesn't even have a, wow, this doesn't even have a wheel on it.
What is it?
It's just a, oh, I see. There's a plastic piece in there.
Yeah, I can see the chain adjusting when you do that.
Yeah. Huh. That's weird. So like on a Kawasaki Prairie, I know that this adjuster would actually have a wheel on the end here that would run. This just relies on this pressing on the back side of what looks like a hunk of plastic. That would be definitely an indication of, you know, wicked cheap quality. So if I pull up on this plastic adjuster thing, can we get this chain to come off? That would be ideal. That's pretty close. Try and rotate it
Which way?
clockwise. Yeah, that direction. Oh, hold on. I gotta get something in there to trick this again. Go ahead. Oop, shoot. Go ahead. Oh, so close. Go ahead. Here. I had it going and then it stopped. Alright, go ahead. There we go. Alright. Now
Know what to do.
well, I'll tell you what you have to do. Take a tip from me. We're gonna put something, a piece of wire or something on this,
Yeah.
okay? Because if this falls down in here and falls into the engine, then you're looking at complete, you're gonna take the whole head, the cylinder and everything off to get it out. And if we don't have to, if it looks like this, if by some miracle the cylinder's in good shape and the piston doesn't have a hole in it, then we're not gonna wanna take that whole thing apart. I'm not going to put that down tight in case we want to get the chain to spin.
Yeah.
Because when we get this head off, we'll turn that, let the piston go up and down so we can look at it. See, this is the head right here.
Yeah.
The head, this is the point where it separates right here.
This looks like it goes all the way down.
So, oh, is that what they're using? They're using the studs?
Want to see?
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're using these studs that come up to actually hold the cylinder head on. So we not only do we have to take these two little ones off, we are going to have to take these four off. So we might as well take the whole rocker assembly off. No, let's leave that. Remember we talked about how rusted that is? Let's leave it. Because the only reason we're going to take that off is if we have to replace this head. Okay,
Yeah.
if we have to replace this head, we're going to want to take this and put it on the new head. And if we're going to replace this head, we might not even care about, it might come with new studs. So if they snap, you know.
You want to do this?
Well, I'll break it free here. If you hold the engine, there's probably a torque specification on these things too.
I think they're kind of tight.
They gotta be this cylinder head. They're actually doing the job of the cylinder head bolt, but they're not a bolt. They're studs, which on a lot of high performance engines, or like a lot of upgrades on diesel trucks, that's what they do. They change the head bolts out to studs. Matter of fact, Cadillac had a problem on one of their engines years ago, where the force of the compression forces of the engine running was actually ripping the cylinder head bolts right out of the aluminum block, and it was a major problem. Let me see those two. Just to keep these from being confused with these, we can put these right back in the holes in the cylinder. Okay?
Yeah.
There we go. It's tight tolerance, so it's... There we go. Just make sure nothing falls out that we don't want to fall out. Alright, so what I'm looking at is, I'm looking at these surfaces right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
See if there's any scarring on them.
Yeah, exactly. These are called journals.
Yeah.
And that one looks good. That one's got a little bit of damage there, but you know, not enough to get overly excited about. And the good news is the camshaft actually looks pretty good. See it?
Yeah, it does. Want to take that out?
Yeah, I'm going to. You see this little ring right here?
Yeah.
How it moves with that little indentate, that little bump on it?
Yeah.
That's probably a compression release. When it cranks really slowly, that probably is. No, wait a minute. Maybe not. That might just sit in. Where does that sit? No, I bet you that is. I bet you that's a compression release. Automatic compression release. Alright, so I'm going to take this out now. Oh, that's not good.
Scarring.
Yeah. You see, this is a lot harder
Yeah.
than that. So, what's bad is it should look like, see how that's almost like a mirror finish?
Yeah.
Even that's got some scarring on it, some scoring, I guess is a better. But look at this one.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, it's bad.
That's bad. Now, is it bad like catastrophic engine bad? Well, I wouldn't race this engine. But is it bad enough to condemn the whole thing? Not yet. What's going to probably condemn the whole thing is what we're going to see next when we take these two screws out and get this head off. Now with the rocker arm assembly off, now you can really see how far this one is compressed,
Yeah.
even with nothing on it.
I
That should be fully out like that, and it's not.
I saw it before.
That one might not even be fully out. That one might be bent too. Let's take a look. So you got to get these two screws right here out. While you're doing that, I'm going to rotate this because I'm curious to see now with all of the gear train off what it does. It's still doing something horrible.
No. That chain's not moving.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I forgot about the chain. That's why I left a loop in here, because you can actually hold this up and maybe make it.
How about this?
Nope.
I can see it's coming off now.
All right. So what's going to happen is that chain's going to have to go through that opening.
I'll hold it.
Ugh.
Yeah. I'm holding it.
Oh
right
my
now.
goodness.
What?
The rust in there.
Yep.
Oh, this thing's been open to the weather for a long time.
Wait. One of the spacers, two of them are coming out.
That's okay. I'll just take them out now. Wait a minute. Why is there only two?
I think they go. Yeah, there's only two.
Yeah, is it obvious though? We don't want to take them out and not know where they go.
This one goes there.
Hold on. Can a spacer fit in these?
No.
Okay. All right. That's it. That's all we need.
Wait, there's a spacers at the back of these too.
Yeah, don't worry about those.
It's a chain that's holding up too.
Yeah, was it?
Right there.
Caught on something?
Yeah. That.
Use the screwdriver if you can. It's wedged in there.
You can pull it now. Pull it.
Hold on. Okay.
This gasket doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, we can't reuse it. This is generally not what you like to see in your engine.
Yeah, I love seeing that in my engine. You crazy? I mean, turn that back around.
You know what's funny?
What?
I don't think that valve's bent. I think that valve's stuck open. I think it's rusted open.
Can we fix that?
Got it. I'll tell you, even if we took this all apart, cleaned it all up, and put it all back together and got it running, I would imagine it would smoke like a son of a gun. So, good point. This is pretty much came with the cart. So, is this rust this is interfering on? Is that what's
Maybe.
going on here?
Can we
Why
clean
is
up that
so?
piston?
I don't know.
Do this. You move your hand. I got it.
Yeah, see? Look. See how nice
Freely.
it turns now?
Freely, yeah.
Why is that?
Maybe this thing was hitting it and getting stuck. It was,
That would be bad. Because if it's hitting it, then it probably bent it. That actually turns nicely with that out. So
piston doesn't look bad.
it's the cylinder walls. You get a really the piston could be skunked. The cylinder walls could be
wonder why there's no compression.
Oh yeah, that's definitely why you have compression.
How are we gonna clean that out? Can we take the spring off? And
Yeah,
take the whole
you
thing
gotta
out?
you gotta take the spring off, take the whole thing out, clean it all up.
You need that special tool, right?
Yeah, it's a valve spring compressor. Is what we need.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I do somewhere.
That's all, folks.